Good afternoon, friends. Welcome for today's class. And coming to today's class, we are going to discuss an important topic of the business environment, that is special economic zones. Why these special economic zones are so important, and what is the key role is played by these SEZs, not only from Indian perspective, from the global perspective also. So in today's class, we are going to discuss what exactly these SEZs are there, what is the purpose of SEZs, why the government of India is encouraging SEZs, particularly from the growth perspective, how it is encouraging. All these we are going to discuss right now. So straight away, we'll jump into the class. Now, what are SEZs? What are SEZs? If we go with the definition and the purpose, SEZs are specially democratic regions with business-friendly regulation and generous fiscal incentives to boost exports, attract investments, and simplify operations. SEZs are specially those regions with special regulations regular than the normal organizations. They emerged by evolving from earlier export processing zones, EPZs. The SEZ Act of 2005, which was effective from 2006, institutionalized this policy framework. So coming to EPZ legacy, so 8 prominent EPZs, which was there in Kandla, Surat, Mumbai, Cochin, Chennai, Visakhapatnam, Falta, and Noida. So were the upgrading into SEZs. Now coming to the number and the distribution. So if you can see the data here, approval and notifications. By April 30, 2024, there was 424 formal approvals with 375 notified SEZs. And operational SEZs as of March 31st, 2024, it was 280 SEZs were operational. Other sources report figures ranging from 270 to 295 depending on the timeline. And if you see the statistical data here, so in Karnataka, we have total 63 SEZs, Tamil Nadu, and even Telangana is also doing very well. Telangana is also doing very well, particularly as far as this SEZ is concerned. So SEZ is a special economic zone or a region which is located with a purpose, and the purpose is to fulfill the objectives of the country. So this is what the operational data. Now, coming to the Special Economic Act Zone. Now, what is the Special Economic Act Zone? 2005 says that the Act provides for establishment, the Act provides the establishment and development and management of special economic zones for promotion of exports for matter connected therewith or the incidental thereto. So ministry, this is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So coming to the important objectives, what are the important objectives of SEZs are? The first and most important objective is generation of additional economic activity. So these SEZs as special, we are talking about special. Why they are special means they are contributing additional income to the or additional revenue to the government account. So that is the reason the main objective of SEZ is provides or generates additional economic money or currency to the gross domestic product. Now coming to second and most important is promoting the exports of goods and services. So you may ask a doubt. Earlier, there are many organizations which started from 1947 until today they are working. Is they are not contributing for the exports of the goods and services? Yes, they are exporting, but these are exclusive. There are certain export economic zones in these regions, like how we started understanding there are more than 500 plus SEZs. So these are working more efficiently than the regular industries in India. Now, coming to third objective is promotion of investment from domestic and foreign sources. Yes, very, very important. So it is not only encouraging, the domestic investments, but it is also focusing more on the foreign sources also. Because how important these foreign sources are. Because when foreign currency move from other countries to in India, either in the form of FDI or maybe in the form of shares or maybe any other form, so it definitely adds additional economic income to that and investment. By that, job opportunities will increase. So like that. So the third and most important objective is promotion of investment from domestic and foreign sources. Now coming to fourth, employment opportunity. Just now I'm saying, so from 1947 to till today, in all the policies, the main objective is economic opportunity. So employment opportunity. So employment opportunity definitely will boost up the morale in the youth of the country. So now, and the last objective is infrastructure facilities. So now the main purpose of SEZ is also to provide infrastructure like proper roads, proper water facility, irrigation facilities, transportation facility, telecommunication. All these facilities can be developed when we have special economic zones in the country. So these are the main objectives of the economic zones in the country. Now, what SEZ includes? Now, this is most important. So, because if we talk about SEZs, so it is a broader perspective. SEZs cannot include all these in one category because SEZ have different categories. So, based on those categories, we are classified these into free trade zones, that is FEZs. And next one is export oriented zones. These are exclusively for exporting only. And third one is there are free zones. And there are some industrial parks, or we can also call as industrial estates. There are free ports, there are free economic zones, and there are urban enterprises zones. So these are all the various classification of SEZ. If somebody asks how you classify the special economic zones, means we can classify based on free trade zones. We can classify based on the export processing zones, based on free zones, industrial parks, industrial estates, etc. So these are the various classification of these special economic zones in the country. Now, yes. Now, what is the rule? Now the next question comes: how and what is the role of SEZs, particularly when you are promoting the international trade? So that is what the India is more bothered about, because how it is useful to India and how it will helps in promoting the international trade. Now, the main factor in determining the success of SEZ is growing in the exports made by them. Yes, the most important point, what you need to understand is exports are increased, particularly when you are focusing more on the SEZs. And the purpose behind their establishment is to provide internationally competitive environment. Yes, because you are not competing with the local bodies, friends. You are competing with the international bodies also, international organizations also. Because if you meet the standards of global, then there is a possibility your export standards will increase. And if they increase the export standards by, and also it helps in making availability of goods and services, and free of taxes and duties, supported by the encouragement. Means the government is giving a lot of incentives for SEZ that we are going to study in the coming slide. Now, coming to how it is playing a role, the most and important role is the long-term and scalable policy framework within the minimum regulatory regime. So this is the most important point. What you need to understand is whatever the long-term and stable policy it is following, it is mainly focusing on these aspects. Now, second one is it is a single window approval. Now, India has a negative impact at the global standards that those who will apply for in India, they won't get the permissions easily. But the SEZ is also following a single window approval, like how the foreign direct investment automatic route is following. Same way, it is also focusing on the single window approval. Now, coming to third and important point, important export movement of goods based on self-declaration. Yes, this is also an important point. Now, no routine examination is made unless specific order from the concerned authority. Means whatever you are importing, either the raw material or the goods, whatever you are exporting. So there is there's some routine examination because these are meant for a special purpose. And the objective is to export the goods and to promote the foreign investment to India. Now, and the last and most one is the package of incentives is to attract foreign domestic investment in promoting export-oriented growth. Yes. So from first point, we have been focusing more on exports, which will increase the promoting. And all these points, if we apply in a positive way, then definitely these are going to make the India as a very good international trading partner, and even international companies can also feel very happy in doing trade with the India. So these are the points which are covered under the role of SEZs at the global level, because every company's aim is to go global and make the most successful utilize the platform. And those things can be there in the minds of every company, and the government is providing a platform for that. Yes. Now, why this is so special? So why this SEZ is so special? The first and most important is exemption of custom duty on goods. So very, very important. So there is 100% exemption for particular few goods exported from SEZ. I'm not talking about if goods are exported to other country from other parts of the country, but the advantage and the incentives which the SEZ has when the SEZ has developed, the main exemption is the custom duties will not be levied. Custom duty cannot be levied on the goods exported from SEZ or by the developer or SEZ unit. That is merit. And next one is there are free trade and warehousing zones to create trade-related infrastructure to facilitate import and export of goods and services and create a world-class infrastructure. Yes, this is the point what I want to touch. So this is providing a world-class infrastructure, particularly for the warehousing and the infrastructure facilities. This is what is most important. Right. So this is the special economic zones in India. So what are the special economic zones? What is the purpose of special economic zones? This is what we are going to discuss. So how special economic zones is playing a key role. So all this we have discussed in this class. And with this, we have completed the special economic zone topic. And now I would like to throw a light on the World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization, because World Trade Organization is an international trade organization which was established in 1995 with a purpose. And because how this is connected with the special economic zones that we are going to study in the coming slides. So now I would like to add or throw a light on World Trade Organization. Now, what is this World Trade Organization? So World Trade Organization is the international body dealing with the rules of trade between nations. And the goal is to supervise and expand international trade, monitor national trade policies, and provide some technical assistance. So why this WTO is more important? So friends, WTO is an international body. WTO is a international body. And why this body is established? It is dealing with the rules of trade between nations. Yes, more important. This is focusing more on the trading and trade related issues, bilateral and multilateral trade negotiations between the nations of WTO. And the main goal is to supervise and expand the international trade and monitor the national trade policies and provide technical assistance to developer nations. So the second point, first point is it's an international body which is dealing with the rules of trades between the two nations. And the main goal is to supervise and expand the international trade monitor national trade policies, and provide technical assistance to developing countries. So this is the main introduction of the World Trade Organization. Now, even the World Trade Organization is also acting as a forum. Forum for what? Forum for negotiating and formalizing the agreements between nations as well as resolving disputes. Now, friends, developing countries like India and other countries, there are many issues, trade related issues, which have been arising in within the country. But WTO is a forum which is helping to normalize the things between the trade between two countries, because two countries, when they enter into a common agreement, it is not that easy to run on a common platform, because sometimes what happens, a developed nation will do a trade with a developing nation, a developing nation will do a trade with a least developing nation. So their trade policies, their economic system, their currency, their government, their people, their socio-cultural aspects, all the political, economic, social, cultural factors are totally different. So in meanwhile, what happens when one country is doing trade with other country? Possibility is there. There may be some trade related disputes, and these disputes are solved. These disputes are solved as per the negotiations and the agreements between the nations, as well as the WTO is also helping in resolving the disputes. Now, coming to next point, the organization grew from the General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, and we call it a GATT. So, friends, WTO is not the first organization. So before WTO also, there are many platforms, particularly General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, GATT, is also worked very hard in promoting the international trade as a common platform. So this was established in the year 1948, but later on, due to other issues, so it has been dissolved, and in the place of that, the WTO was replaced. So the organization grew from the General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, which was established shortly after the World War II. So now World War II, it has been started. So that is what the major points you need to remember as far as the WTO is concerned. Now next. Yes. Now we have to have official data. Now, what is organization structure of WTO? So, friends, WTO headquarters is located at Geneva, Switzerland. So, its headquarters is located in Geneva, Switzerland, and it was founded on 1st January 1994. And before this, what was the other organization? Just now we have been discussing. It was GATT. That was established in 1948, and up to 1994 it was active, but due to some other trade related issues and other many issues, in the place of that, the WTO was founded. So WTO was founded in the year 1995. So this is need to be remembered. Now there are 166 member states or member countries who has taken membership in the WTO, isn't it? And now current general director was Cozy Okanzo, and she is the current director, general director. And now what are the official languages? Official languages at WTO is English, French, and Spanish. And the total secretariat staff is 623. And all these are the generalized data of WTO organization. Now, what is the structure? Yes, very, very important. Now, what is the structure of WTO? How it works? Because, friends, structure is nothing but roles and goals. That's it. Role and goal. What are the roles and what are the goals need to be performed by WTO? That is what you need to understand. If you see the WTO structure, the highest structure is ministerial conference. The highest structure, which is ministerial conference. So ministerial conference is head of WTO. It is acting as a head of WTO. So under ministerial conference, there is a dispute settlement body, there is a general council, and there is a trade policy review body. So the highest, the head of WTO is ministerial conference, because ministerial conference is acting as a head. Under ministerial conference, there are few more bodies which are working under ministerial conference. One is dispute settlement body. Another one is EGC, General Council. Third one is Trade Policy and Review Body. So this is also most important. So under General Council, again the General Council are classified into again various departments, various functions. That is the Committee on T&D and T&D. There is a Committee on Goods Council, and one more important is Intellectual Property Rights Council is also there, that we are going to discuss in depth in the coming classes. And the last one is services. Now, friends, if you see the structure here, structure is clearly defined. So head is ministerial conference. Under ministerial conference, there are few more bodies, that is DSB, dispute settlement body, GC, general council, and trade review policy. So under general council, again, there are few committees. Out of this, most important is general council for goods, general council for services, and a separate wing which is focusing on IPR, that is intellectual property rights. What is these IPR and how these are going to be discussed, how these functions of this IPR, that we are going to discuss in the coming classes. Now coming to this, the structure of WTO is clearly understood. So all these are the structure of WTO. Now we'll go with the functions. What are the various functions of WTO? But before we go to the functions, I'd like to we would like to throw a light on what are the key objectives of WTO. So why it is established, why it was replaced in the place of GATT, and is it a good organization in dealing with the trade negotiations with all the member countries? So why this is so important? The objectives we are going to discuss now. So coming to the first objective, the main objective is to set the and enforce rules for international trade. Yes, the first and most important objective is it is enforcing the rules and setting the rules for international trade. Just now I said in the 10 minutes back, friends, if you are doing trade with one company to other company in your domestic region, you are facing many issues. So if you are dealing with the countries, one country is doing trade with other country, obviously we need to set and enforce rules, particularly the common rules. Common rules need to be made clear, and particularly at the international trade. So now second point is to provide a forum. To provide a forum for negotiation and monitoring further trade liberalization. Yes, the trade should be run in a free environment. Always global trade, particularly friends, global trade should have a very good monitoring system, and every member country should feel free. Every country should feel free in promoting the international trade, free and fair trade. So I'm talking about free, and also a fair trade should be there. A trade should be always run on free and fair, isn't it? Two things are very, very important. Now, coming to third and important objective is to solve trade disputes. Just now I said trade disputes. And who will solve? There is a separate body. Just now we are come across the dispute settlement body in the organization structure of WTO, which was located in Geneva, Switzerland. It has a separate body. It has a separate body, dispute settlement body. All the trade related disputes between whether it can be multilateral, bilateral trade issues, all these issues can be solved or dealt by WTO trade disputes body will be there, and we will call it as trade disputes body, DSB. And this is most important body as far as the WTO establishment is concerned. So third one is to resolve the trade disputes. Coming to fourth point, it increase the transparency, isn't it? It's increase the transparency, particularly in decision making process. Now, whatever the rules you have set is clear. Whatever the trade negotiation and monitoring the trade liberalization is also very transparent, and whatever the guidelines set to solve the disputes is also very transparent. So everything is transparent, everything is free and fair in the WTO, isn't it? So the important one more objective is to increase transparency. Means, for example, a trading a developing nation is cheating a developing nation or a underdeveloping nation. So the cheating cannot be done. Maybe that cheating can be done on imposing high tariff, by imposing high tariff or levying more taxes when you import or exporting the goods. That should be very transparent. Means how much tax you are imposing, or what are the decision making you are taking. All these are clearly transparency kind of thing is maintained by WTO. So to increase the transparency, and particularly decision making process is more transparent than compare with the GATT. Now the next one is to cooperate with major international economic institutions involved in global economic management. Yes. Now even we have monetary fund, we have World Bank, isn't it? There are many financial institutions. So these things need to be cooperated, because even many countries has taken financial support from International Monetary Fund, that is IMF or maybe World Bank. So there should be always a good cooperation. There should be always a good cooperation with the major international and economic institutions which involved in the global economic. So this is what, and the last and most important one is, it helps in developing countries benefited fully from the global trading system. Yes, yes, very, very important. Because already developed nations have an competitive advantage and competitive edge. So they can do the trade even without the support of a common platform. But this is very, very important. Countries like India, a developing country, it is going to be benefited fully. It is going to be benefited fully from the global trading system, because India will get an opportunity to do the trade with the more than 600 countries, because India is a starting member of WTO when it was established on January 1st, 1995. So India is definitely going to get an advantage from the WTO, and even India has also faced a lot of issues, trade related disputes with the developing nations like US and China. Those cases we are going to study in the coming classes. So friends, this is what the objectives and of WTO, like that is, it will set the rules for the international trade, and it is also acting as a negotiating forum for the free and fair trade. It is also helping to solve the trade disputes, and it is helping to increase the transparency, particularly in the decision making process. It is also cooperating with the major organizational economic institutions like International Monetary Fund or World Bank, and even it is also helping the developing nations, particularly developing nations like country like India. So it is helping and providing a platform and saying to the developing countries like, so get full benefit from the global trading system. So this is how the things has been doing from the World Trade Organizations. So friends, this is what about the World Trade Organization. So World Trade Organization is an international forum and a trade negotiation forum which was established on 1st January 1995. Before WTO, there was GATT. So why this GATT was failed and what are the major drawbacks of GATT also, we are going to study in the coming classes. So right now, I'm winding up the class and signing up today. So thank you so much for joining today's class. And in the coming class, I want to give more inputs on how the business and how the World Trade Organization has promoted the global trade and how it is helping the global uh, companies, particularly the developing countries, which was clearly mentioned in their objective, and saying that it is going to benefit fully from the global trading system. So thank you so much for joining for today's class. Thank you. And we'll meet in the next class.